Welcome to you. My name's Dale, and this is a Dale's Addiction. This is a Dale's Addiction? This is Dale's Addiction. Whoa, things are getting serious here. Today I'm filming the video, obviously. Today's video is Andri's tag. Are YouTubers narcissistic? Thanks to Tanya from Bits and Bags for tagging me in this controversial topic. This is a chatty video. This is about my perspective on people's motivation for joining YouTube, people and myself, and is there a correlation between being on YouTube and being narcissistic? My opinion. So, I do have some notes on my Remarkable. I love this thing. Have I talked about it? Not an ad, but highly recommend if you're a note taker and you don't like going through heaps and heaps of paper. Really helpful for me. So let's talk about why I started YouTube first. And I think I've mentioned this in a couple of videos, but for the purpose of context for this video, I started YouTube because I wanted to make connections with people that had similar interests to me. In my everyday life, it is very, well, maybe I've got one friend who would probably buy as many bags as I do. I have many friends who are interested in bags but don't buy them necessarily, or have one or two. And most of my friends and family do not have any luxury handbags and are not remotely interested in it. And that's fine. But for me, not being able to talk about something that I am really passionate about, that I spend a lot of time researching and a lot of time I'm just fascinated by where the inspiration comes from, and I love cruising the boutiques and seeing what's new and seeing what's in fashion. It's an odd thing to not be able to talk about your interests and hobbies with the people around you for fear of, I don't know, just not having a connection there. And YouTube is the only hobby that I have ever had that was not related to my work. So I was studying from when I left high school at 18 right through till I was about 33, 34. Then I changed careers. Then all my reading and all of my spare time was in relation to researching for my new career. And there wasn't really much time left. And I had this odd perspective that whatever I spent my time on had to be important things. So yes, I had interests. I loved cooking and I liked gardening, but I wouldn't say they're hobbies, things that I dedicate time to, that I practice on a regular basis, and that I am working to get better at. Whereas YouTube has a lot of components. It has getting camera ready, creating interesting content, filming that content, editing that content, promoting that content, and and I am no expert, but I am really enjoying the learning process and combining that with my love of luxury. So that's my motivation for joining YouTube. When I then look at what I think about when I think about narcissism, now I'm not going to give you a textbook definition of narcissism, but from my own experience, having worked with a narcissist and having a narcissist in my immediate family, I can tell you that narcissists, yes, are about themselves, but they're about building power and admiration, and they will always find a way to self-promote even when they haven't potentially contributed. And sometimes that self-promotion or power will be derived by exploiting or manipulating others, and at worst gaslighting others. And when I look at my motivations for YouTube and what a narcissist is and how they draw power and admiration, I can safely say I'm not a narcissist. And I was unable to, really put my finger on narcissism, particularly within my with my family member until I was able to actually go through a family crisis and really examine their behaviours during the crisis and come to understand that wasn't normal. And, through a lot of help and advice, was able to come to the conclusion that all of the behaviours that we can commonly associate with love for others are actually just a narcissist giving approval. Because when you're in a relationship with narcissists, when you do things well that they approve of, you build up their esteem. They can take something from that. But when you are something that they are ashamed of, or you don't meet the grade, then you bring down their image or their self-image, and therefore they'll start being really nasty to you. So the reason I tell you that is because for me, YouTube is literally a hobby. And if I am ever at the point where you see narcissistic tendencies, please tell me in the comments, because that is not why I am here at all. In fact, a lot of my real joy from YouTube is engaging with different people who are either looking at starting their YouTube journey. And I recently filmed a video to help shed some light on some of the behind the scenes things that you need to know when you start a YouTube channel that I certainly didn't know. It's to provide people with help and advice. I get a lot of conversation through Instagram, especially from people who are considering buying things, especially Fendi, and I love that. I love that you're out there looking at Fendi because you might have seen one of my videos and you're going to try something that you might not have tried before. So for me, that engagement is super important. It's about building people up, giving people the confidence to do what they want to do, rather than trying to be, minimize people or make them feel smaller or less relevant because maybe they don't have a collection as big as mine, or maybe they don't have a budget that is similar to mine. None of that really matters. What matters is that a person feels like they can engage and connect with you as a person regardless of what you have. So when I go back to the argument, are YouTubers narcissistic? Are there people on YouTube that might and I guess how you choose to feel as a result of somebody else's video, which is, inanimate, I guess that's on you in terms of how you feel about that. People can't make you feel things because feelings are emotions. But they can give you cause to compare your situation, perhaps, and that could have a negative impact. When some of the videos that come out that minimize certain brands or put hierarchies of brands out there, and for me especially, I struggle with the whole, why would you spend this much on Chanel when you could buy Hermes? Controversial opinion, because I think Hermes is ugly. Like, that's fashion, right? We all have a perspective. I don't believe that there are tiers in fashion based on how big your budget can extend. I think style is style, and what's in fashion at any particular time changes, but it doesn't change based on your budget. Oh, I can afford an $18,000 handbag. Does that make you any more fashionable or any more stylish than the person who's rocking a handbag that cost $500 or maybe $50 from a thrift shop? No. Style is something that is helped along by a great eye, and yes, having deep pockets does help, certainly, if there are things that you have your eye on. But most of us are great problem solvers, and we can compromise or substitute high-end pieces with references to those pieces and look $1 million without spending $100. And to me, I think that is true ingenuity and creativity. I'm probably going around the topic here because I think there's lots of little prongs and I'm just trying to get my thinking square on here. I I think that narcissism and vanity probably get mixed up quite a bit. And I feel if this tag was called YouTubers vain, or do they suffer from vanity, you would get a totally different response and potentially more in the affirmative than YouTubers narcissistic. You can tell that this is just a issue. All right. So then the question is, am I vain? Look, do I look in the mirror and make sure that I don't have any bats in the cave before I jump on camera? Absolutely. But I can tell you that for filming, I do not do my hair. Look at this. Look, I've got a scrunchie in the back of my hair. I do not make an effort to look like somebody that I'm not. I film on days where if I've got to go to work in the city and I've already done my hair nicely, so the days where you see that my hair is done nicely, it's because I've been working in the morning and I've gone, let's not waste this effort. Let's do a YouTube video whilst we're looking a bit more glam than usual. Today I literally have on tinted moisturiser, a bit of mascara and some lip gloss. I've thrown my hair back and I'm filming because I was tagged in this video and I thought, why not? I've got some time. I'll do it now. So for me, I don't want to set myself up that if I don't look on point for a video, that then becomes the exception to my videos. I want to connect with you guys, and I'm sure that, and for me to be able to do that means being real. And in real life, I am not dolled up to the nines every day. I'm not wearing my best clothes every day. And yeah, there's some fun about getting dressed up and doing YouTube videos, I'm sure, especially for people that have been stuck in lockdown. But I certainly don't think I need to do that to be able to put a video out. I show you mod shots, and for me, mod shots are really hard because I am crap at posing. You will not see me on YouTube doing selfies and those sorts of things because it is not good, and you can see how awkward I am. When I do my mod shots on YouTube, I feel awkward, but the whole point is you're watching this video so that you can get some information and insights around whether or not a bag or the comparison of bags works for you. You want to know what the strap drop is. You want to know how it sits when you cross body or wear on your shoulder. And I don't know that there's the diversity of bodies on YouTube that there possibly could be. I know for me, I find it really hard to be able to compare how bags sit with other YouTubers because most of the people that I'm following are tiny little things, and I'm not. And I'm not obese by any means, but I'm what I would call just a regular Joe, an average body type. But it's like there's not a place for that here. So in terms of vanity, I'm pushing myself beyond my comfort limits, potentially opening myself up for trolls or potentially opening myself up for nasty comments just by being the same person that I am when I walk down the street every day. And like, that just sounds absurd, doesn't it? I am so bad at posing for photos that there are literally a handful of wedding photos that I was able to choose because most of the time I could not manage my face by how happy I was that in nearly every photo I had like little rabbit. I was like, oh, it's so happy. And the photographer was just like, relax your face down, relax your face down. And I'd be like, okay. And then they'd start taking photos and I'd be like, anyway, that's me. So no, I'm not vain. Do I think that there are YouTubers that are vain? Absolutely. And you know what? Whatever it takes for them to have the confidence to get on, these people have massive audiences. If their channels are based on style and fashion, yeah, they've got an image to maintain, and that is their business. This is a hobby for me. It is their business. And I feel like there's a certain level of vanity required to demonstrate professionalism, especially if you are living off this as your career. So I think the marker or what is success on YouTube to me without being narcissistic or vain. It's being able to be yourself with a group of other people with similar interests and passions. And I think, ironically, for me, it can be easier to do that on YouTube, talking to a bunch of people that I've never met in person, than in real life. For example, I bought this shirt today from a thrift event with my girlfriend, who is a very talented thrifter. And I hate thrifting because it requires too much effort for me. I want to turn up to the shop and say, I like that, where's my size, pick it off the rack and go. I was very lucky. I picked up a couple of things, and this linen shirt, I think I just threw it on before this video, still has a tag on. But it is a beautiful baby blue colour. It has the tag on. It's kind of how I buy pre-loved bags, full set. But I was there, and I wore this bag. And I went to check in on my girlfriend and take her a coffee because she had a big day ahead of her, and she was working adjacent with somebody else. And I went off to have a look at some items, and that person said to her, and she told me afterwards, "Oh, your friend has a lot of money." And she said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Did you see the size of that diamond on her hand? Did you see that Louis Vuitton bag that she was carrying?" And I thought for a moment, and I went, oh, like I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, a very casual crossbody bag, and the rest is the same, right? Hair tied back, face mask on, and that subtle detail already caught someone's eye. And I don't know if I really would, I don't know if I wanted to know that. I don't know if knowing that makes it any more comfortable to just show up as I am, or if that affects how I dress in the future. And YouTube helps me to say, you know what, that's going to happen all the time whether I know about it or not, so I'm not going to change anything. So in many ways, being a part of YouTube and talking about luxury handbags is a much more comfortable place to be my authentic self with less judgment than it is just to walk down the street normally. There are a couple of things, again, that are the difference between people who YouTube for business and YouTube for hobbies. For example, you know, call me stupid or not, I struggle to push down people's throat to like and subscribe. I will say it right at the end, and the reality is, when I look at my analytics, if I look at them, it's unlikely that people are even watching to the end of my videos. So they're not hearing the like and subscribe. People know how YouTube works, in my opinion. And so therefore, if they like my video, they'll give it a thumbs up, and they'll subscribe if they want to see more of it. I personally do not like starting a video and getting a please like and subscribe when you don't even know if you like the video yet. You don't even know if you want your feed filled up with their videos because you haven't finished watching this one. So Sunday babbling. I think I'm going to have to edit this video down a little bit because I've been going around and around in circles, but I mean, you guys, the audience, what do you think? Do you think YouTubers are narcissistic? What's your take on this topic? I would like to start a conversation around how YouTube adds value to your shopping experience, because that's how I discovered YouTube and luxury channels, and it has taken a lot of the intimidation out of the process of buying luxury goods. And when I say intimidation, I'm not necessarily talking about the store experience per se, although, you know, when you start out, that can be quite intimidating. But when you know the questions to ask, when you have the confidence to be able to ask for different things because you have seen it on videos, like knowing that there are different types of caviars on Chanel bags, knowing that there are different sized options instead of going into a boutique and seeing something on the shelf and going, oh, I like that. By watching YouTube, you can ask, does that come in different sizes? Can I see the smaller size in that one? Do you have X color? Because you're familiar with the collections and what's available. And I think that YouTube contributes a lot in terms of making people's buying experiences much more enjoyable. I'd love to start a conversation on that, but that's for another day. So I understand that the rules of the game are that I need to tag some people in the comments below, which in the description box below, which I will, but I welcome your comments. I'd love to continue the conversation with you. What do you think? Are YouTubers narcissistic? Keep it clean, guys. If you have liked this video and you've made it this far, give me the shocked face emoji. I'd also love a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I put out videos on Wednesdays and Sundays, so I'll see you next time. Bye.